everybody, and welcome to episode 45 of The Stable. I'm today's host. This is Josh, and this
is Dr. Deb.
And we wanted to take a moment and do a little bit of a review, our thumbs up combinations, as it might be, for the AEW Double or Nothing pay-per-view that took place in New York at the fantastic Louis Armstrong Stadium. I was thoroughly impressed with the venue. I think they said 15,015 people, something like that, or 16,015. I don't know, but the facility sets up apparently for around 14,000 for tennis. So when you put the floor in, 15,000 is about right. Mm-hmm. So not quite as big as Arthur Ashe, like we reviewed with Kenny Omega and Bryan Danielson, but still massive and just the crowd. I'm giving 2 thumbs up to the crowd alone. Like, I don't know about you.
Well, a New York crowd is usually hot. I mean,
Absolutely.
Unless you do something really wrong, they're really on it. It looked excellent, and I love AEW's creativity in using places that are not commonly thought of as wrestling venues and showing how they can do a great job with it. So that was really fun. I've never seen a wrestling show. No, I've never seen a wrestling show in Louis Armstrong.
No,
ever.
I don't think there was. I think it was the first time for that.
This was the first time they ever did it, so which is great.
Yeah.
Groundbreaking.
So when you get a chance, definitely check out the buy-in. We're not going to review that today. For those who haven't seen us do a review, we do our review segments based off of thumbs. Thumbs up, thumbs down.
This is your thumb, in case you wonder.
Right.
This is Orange Cassidy's thumb,
Correct.
in case you wonder.
That's our half thumb. Because now that Orange Cassidy's a wrestler, you can actually do half thumbs.
You can do an orange thumb. Thank
Absolutely.
you, Orange.
Thank you very much. With that said, check out the buy-in, if for nothing else, to see the debut of Mick Foley, who is now All Elite, or as Tony Khan keeps calling him, Cactus Jack, back on TBS. Which he can do that.
We know which one's his favorite personification,
Absolutely.
apparently. Or is that right? Characterization? Whatever.
Manifestation, personification, character.
Of Mick Foley.
Bang,
It doesn't
bang,
surprise me, though, especially considering Mick Foley's interaction with MJF a few years back at Squared Circle Expo. So it doesn't really surprise me that they got him. It looked like he had a really great relationship with MJF, and that's got to be good for something in AEW. So.
Yeah, so there were quite a few matches. I do not have that list in front of me right now. We started kind of doing a review at the beginning of the main show as Quentin showed up, and I've got a little bit of feedback from him in here as well. So, and then Deb was able to join in the middle of the show to do just some stuff that had been going on.
Nothing bad. I was returning from the Indy 500, if you want me to fess up.
It's true.
I went to the 500, and then afterwards I went back to my parents' house to eat dinner because the traffic is a hot mess after the track lets out. And by the time I got home, I was gross. I needed a shower. Straight shooting with you. So got a shower and then came down and saw about the last half of the show. So that's why my opinions are the latter half.
Absolutely. So with that, our main card started with the New York Street Fight, where FTR defended their AEW World Tag Team Championships against the team of Cage and Cope. And yes, I know to put it in the right order because I don't want Cage saying things about my mother like he says to some of the people in the crowd. We are a family-friendly show, but understand he is continuing to say those things. But he is the father figure, so take that as you will.
Yeah, it's very confusing. We need to work on your consistency of your characterization there, Mr. Cage.
I don't know what you're talking about. Christian Cage has been the same character for 2 years, and I'm here for it. He just happens to be a good guy, too.
I mean, I'm just saying, you say stuff like that, but you're supposed to be a father figure. We need to work on that part. But
it's everybody's father.
Not mine. Moving on.
No, mine either, yeah.
Thanks.
But regardless.
But I love Cope, so life is good.
This was not a bloodbath, and I have to say that because there was a little bit of bleeding in a few matches, particularly in the main event. Apparently New York's Athletic Commission has particular rules and stuff around that where this needs to be limited and not tasteful or something. I don't know the rules, but I know that they limited it in this. But it didn't make it any less kind of violent. I mean, at one point, Christian Cage had his whatever fractured arm underneath a set of steps that Cash jumped on, like on the steps. So, like, just making whatever break even worse if that was necessary.
His arm looked just fine compared to some other arms I've seen recently. But
that
moving
is
on.
Absolutely valid. But as we come towards the conclusion of the match, Stokely Hathaway got himself involved. to the point that there was a flaming table used at some point.
I
There
mean, why
was,
not?
right.
Look, we can't have blood, so we're just going to set furniture on fire.
And Stokely ended up taking a spear to the outside through the flaming table, a la Edge to McFoley many years ago at WrestleMania.
I see. So we're doing homages.
Absolutely.
Okay,
So
okay.
Adam Copeland, of course,
fair.
is doing the same thing here to Stokely. And Beth Phoenix, or Beth Copeland, as she goes by, obviously, with her and AEW, was able to get her revenge, at least on Stokely, and then eventually on Dax and Cash as well, as Christian Cage put Dax in the sharpshooter, and he wouldn't give up, because this was also an I Quit match. It was a New York Street Fight I Quit match.
That's
and
a lot
if
of words.
Cage and Cope lost, they could no longer tag team together. So, correct.
Okay, so everyone knew who was going to win that one.
Pretty confident, but they've surprised us before. Obviously, Adam Page is not currently getting a world title shot anytime soon, so
Yeah, well, anyway.
we'll
okay.
see. But regardless, sharpshooter on Dax, he wouldn't give up. So Beth Copeland flips over those same steps that were used earlier on Christian Cage to find the spiked 2x4.
Convenient.
Spike, as Adam Copeland calls it. And he is
He has a pet name for the thing?
He does. Well, I'm just saying, Chris Park, or Abyss, has one that he calls Janice. It's almost exactly the same premise, but he does.
Okay.
So Adam Copeland puts Dax in the crossface, and then Beth Copeland slides in Spike. He takes that spiked 2x4 and rams it onto the head of Dax. And what your final segment, final scene there is him in the sharpshooter and getting submitted, and finally, because he really had no other choice, he says, I quit. And you have new AEW World Tag Team Champions, exactly what we needed for this Christian Cage, Adam Copeland run. I'm super stoked by this. That said, if you look up Dave Meltzer's review on this, I think it was one of the 2 5-star matches of the night.
Really? You gave it 5?
He did, and
Okay.
I understand why. I went a little conservative when I put this in, and I said a 1.5. And the reason I said that is I knew we had a couple of matches that might go better than this. Particularly, we'll talk through them. And
I know I saw at least one. Did I see both of them? That
Yeah,
went
I'm
better?
pretty sure you did.
Yeah. I
and
saw some bangers.
I'm saying that the limitation of blood actually, I think, took away from the match for me, because of this was very much a blood feud that
Yeah.
I think we're done from the team on team, but if people get the tease that they might do a TLC or something along those lines at All In, I'm totally fine with them facing each other one
Well,
more
if
time.
certain people in tag team form join AEW,
Well, that-
in the not so distant future, we have plenty of potential for plenty of fun to be had by all.
Absolutely.
And by fun, dangerous and ridiculous stuff to
Actually,
be had by
you
all.
didn't see the next one.
No, I didn't.
No, and the next
No.
one was Okada, the current AEW International Champion, defending his championship against Konosuke Takeshita.
I was finishing drying my hair. I really was. I actually was washing my
Yep.
hair. So I didn't see it, although
Well, it's worth. The good thing is we got it on HBO Max. We'll have it for 6 months, and then it'll go to HBO Max as a replay for everybody. And then I'll hopefully be able to get a hold of it at shopaew.com. And no, they are not a sponsor, but if you want to get the Blu-ray copies of stuff that is still in stock, that's where you get them.
Well, I
Otherwise,
mean, we figured out that we own every single DVD of every single pay-per-view that AEW
DVD
has
or
ever
Blu-ray,
done.
yeah, that they've put out, and I just
Minus
got
what isn't out yet.
Right, Wrestle Dream literally was delivered today,
Right.
from last year. The one that eluded me until early this year, late last year, was Revolution 2024, which was Sting's retirement. I missed it when it went on, and then luckily they did a reprint of it.
They
I was able to
right,
get
because
one.
they all sold out,
Yeah.
I'm sure. Yeah. So that way we have, for future wrestling training purposes for our children, so they can watch all of these pay-per-views.
Yes.
Because the reality is, I don't think there's a bad one among them.
So far, there really hasn't been.
Which is wild
Yeah.
to think of that many pay-per-views and how many they have hit out of the park. It's
the
kind of
first,
stupid.
I think the first was it Wrestle Dream? It might have been Wrestle Dream.
Or was it Forbidden Door?
There
No.
was one of them that was kind of like I was kind of surprised it wasn't any better, but right off the top of my head, I don't remember. But let's stay on this one.
Yeah.
Okada
'Cause their-
versus
I
Takeshita.
was going to say, their average is
Yeah,
so
let's-
good.
Check them out. Almost all of them are on HBO Max. This
Okada
one you
and
did
Takeshita.
miss.
Yeah, Okada and Takeshita.
This one Meltzer gave a 5-star.
I can
This
believe
one
that.
I gave the roaring 2 thumbs up.
Mm-hmm.
No question. These two, Kazuchika Okada was a role model for Takeshita. Takeshita really made his name over in DDT, but while He was in DDT or starting up in DDT. Okada was on the back end of his run in New Japan.
Nice.
And New Japan, like, Okada was synonymous with pro wrestling in Japan, like a 6-time world champion. Like, he was the guy Takeshita looked up to. And with the both of them being a part of the Don Callis family, even with, you know, Takeshita being kind of the face of the time, they were still in the same group. Don Callis set this up. The match happened, and it's a banger. At the time of the recording, the big highlight over social media right now is Chad Gable versus, now Chad Gable, the original El Grande Americano versus El Grande Americano. I mean, we haven't seen Kaiser, but I can't say it's Kaiser. So regardless, that is the talk of the town right now. But prior to that event, this match was the talk. So, and on Cage Match, which is a conglomeration of multiple reviews and whatnot, they put those two neck and neck between multiple fans and media outlets. So go out of your way, find this match. Konosuke Takeshita. Yes, find them both.
Find both.
AAA, the 100% credit to the El Grande Americanos and AAA for putting on a great show. I'm saying that this one is worthy of your time as well, especially if you've never seen the AEW product.
Yeah.
This is, it's not your violent product. This is Japanese strong style wrestling done technically well, where a crowd was excited to see everybody that was there. So absolutely go and check it out. 2 thumbs up. As I put on here, hard hitting, strong style, bitter rivals. And I predicted a 5-star Meltzer review, and I'm nearly positive it got one, as well as Cage Cope and FTR. So that's fantastic. Now, the big story that came out of this one, though, was the surprise return of Kyle Fletcher, the Protostar.
Oh.
He comes out, and the thing about Kyle Fletcher is also part of the Don Callis family. He has been teaming when Takeshita was over in New Japan doing his work as world champ and I believe TV champ as well. Mm-hmm. Fletcher was teaming with Okada. So you know, there was that team, but there was also Protoshita. And Fletcher kind of stared down Mark Davis and Rocky Romero, who were out there attacking Takeshita, and he kind of came out and made the save, and then Okada, Don, and all those guys got out of the ring. Kyle gave him a hug, raised up his hands or whatever, and then immediately clotheslined Takeshita and showed exactly the villain that he is.
I say, who was not expecting? I wasn't even watching it, and it doesn't surprise me.
He absolutely should be he got a face level return ovation, and then he got booed because he took out.
So sort of like Adam, what is that? Adam Cole when he came in AEW, and everyone thought it was a big pop because I was there when he returned at All In.
We were there,
Chicago.
Yes.
One of the Chicago All-Ins.
It was 2021.
Oh Lord, that was a long time ago. Anyway, and then immediately turned heel, literally like
it's
5 minutes later.
Absolutely incredible. I really look forward to Kyle getting fully cleared and us ultimately getting Kyle versus Takeshita at either Forbidden Door or Redemption, because AEW has Forbidden Door, Redemption, and then All In. Now, Redemption is their new pay-per-view that they're doing in Montreal, I think, which will be interesting because that is where Kenny Omega's from. A lot of people are wondering if they're going to do Kenny Omega and Max again, but we'll see.
I'll have to see that one.
So next was Athena versus Mina Shirakawa.
I missed that one too.
Yep.
Yeah,
Athena, who has had the Ring of Honor World Championship for over 1,300 days, defending it incredibly well. If you're not seeing her work on Ring of Honor, definitely check that out.
Yeah.
WatchROH.com or YouTube or wherever they end up putting those things, or the new MyAEW.com, particularly if you're international. I don't know if anybody's watching this across any pond, but if you are, welcome. And oddly enough, this was the quote-unquote weakest match of the night. I'm still giving it a thumbs up. Athena beats Mina to continue in the Owen Hart tournament. Athena looks great. Mina looks great. Like, both of these girls, they put on a great show. Both these women, they're worth watching. They absolutely are. But it was a very standard women's one-on-one match.
Did I come down at the end of it?
Probably. I think you might have seen Athena hit the O-face, and that was it.
Yeah, I think so. I feel like I just saw the tail end, but it wasn't enough to get. I couldn't really rate it because I didn't see enough of it.
It's probably the most devastating women's finisher, maybe second only to Rhea Ripley's Riptide and Sol Ruka. Now, granted, Sol Ruka is still getting her Soul Snatcher going, but Athena's O-face is up there in that conversation. It's crazy. So she continues in the Owen Hart round one, which I would not be surprised if she ends up in the finals. I'm predicting her in the finals, and possibly whoever the wild card is taking Willow Nightingale's place. But we'll see. There's still more to come on that one. Next, John Moxley versus Kyle O'Reilly. And again, I think, yeah, you did come out of
I
this
came
one.
in, yeah.
So
yeah.
John Moxley is the current AEW Continental Champion. For those who don't know the story coming into this, John continually got taken to the limit by Kyle the full 20 minutes in these Continental Classic matches, which is the standard rule set. And John, he did it at the last pay-per-view, and he did it at this one. He's like, I know I can beat these guys, but this 20-minute time limit is holding me up. So if you want another shot, the only way that's going to happen is I got to remove the time limit, and that'll get approved, and that's what happens here. And in this one, it was all about the ankle and the legs and doing what was necessary to take out the leg. And man, it was so good. I put Mox retains. It was a slow-paced but technical spectacle. Told a great story focused on Kyle O'Reilly's leg, ankle, and ankle lock finisher. And Mox won with the ankle lock in the center of the ring as Kyle desperately tried to reach the ropes and could not.
Yep.
That was the story. As Kyle kept trying to get the ankle lock, and Mox realized that he could use it.
Right. It was the flip, and he realized that he could use it on
The
him.
Death Rider didn't do it.
Correct.
The Bulldog Choke didn't do it. But he did enough damage to that leg that he took it. And I put 1.5 thumbs, and you jumped in here with 2.
Yeah,
You
I
gave
gave
him
it
2.
2.
Now, why?
So I don't dislike slower, more technical wrestling matches. It doesn't all have to be fast and speedy. I also like a more mat style or more focused, and that's what this was. It felt intentionally different from what, especially knowing what's going to come later. It made sense that it had a different rhythm, and I enjoy that. I enjoy that they take the time to tell the story. That they didn't feel rushed because they didn't have the 20-minute limit. So they were able to stretch it out. They were able to, I don't know, the back and forth felt very real. And yeah, I just really enjoyed the technical spectacle because we don't get that as much now that Bryan Danielson has essentially retired. That very focused precision. I love watching Danielson when it would be, he'd put him in a lock and then the person would reverse and then he'd put him in a different hold and then they would reverse that. And we're just doing all of that sort of thing. It wasn't that good. No offense. In my opinion, no one was as good as Danielson at it, but it reminded me of that. So it kept my attention in that way. Like, what are they going to try next? And how is he going to get out of this one? And can he reverse this? And it kept my wheels turning, trying to figure out and exactly who was going to win at the end, because I couldn't figure it out. I was like, Mox was on it, but I'm like, yeah, but this guy is still really good. And that's fun to watch when you don't really know.
Absolutely. Next, the men's Owen Hart tournament kicks off with Will Ospreay versus Samoa Joe.
Oh.
And notes I put on here was Will wins solid. Good back and forth. Samoa Joe deserves more credit as a performer than he gets. The road, in my opinion, to All In ends with Will Ospreay, and I am here for it. He is making his intentions known that he wants that world title shot in his home country, especially since the year before.
Yeah.
The year before was not in Wembley, and then he had to take time off for the neck surgery.
Right.
And then the year he was actually part of the company and in Wembley. That was Bryan Danielson's year.
Right.
But he got his match against Swerve.
Yes.
At Forbidden Door.
Right.
I gave this 1.5 thumbs as well. And the reason I did that was I felt like this was a standard tournament match, that it was incredibly well done, but it was not to pinnacle Will Ospreay level. But what we're seeing is that character change.
Right.
A little bit.
It wasn't supposed to be, he wasn't hitting his ceiling. He wasn't going past his ceiling. It was character change, and it was working this slightly different style. There was still plenty of what we know as Will Ospreay in it, but you could tell that they're working on, either he's intentionally doing it as a person or the story, he's changing the style a little bit. I'm not totally sure.
Well, you gave it 2 thumbs, and the reasons you wrote on here were hard-hitting and crisp. Both men look strong, but Will seemed to have his confidence back, a good combo of high-flying and submissions. Because, yes, Will has started using an armbar
right.
As a way to finish the matches, and another way to slow down the pace.
Yes. And I like that difference. I love high-flying, fast Will Ospreay. Don't misunderstand. But the difference in pace is is helpful as a fan, because to watch it that fast for that long can be kind of mentally exhausting. It's amazing what you get to the end and you're just like, dear Lord, I just ran a marathon. But when it's fast, fast, slow, slow, fast, fast, slow, it gives you a little chance to kind of mentally breathe for a second, but your attention's still there because you don't know when it's going to flip to the other speed. So I like what he's doing in this change. He's got enough of what he did before in there, but he's added to the arsenal, which
Absolutely.
is amazing, because good Lord, did he really need any more? Yeah, apparently he did.
Absolutely he did.
So, yeah.
Next, another men's Owen Hart tournament match in our quarterfinal round, which put Swerve Strickland versus Ring of Honor World Champion Bandito. Swerve picks up the win, focusing on the neck of Bandito, and Quentin has a new favorite wrestler.
Apparently he had never seen Bandito.
I don't know how he's seen
We're like, dude, have you been watching wrestling and not seen it? But he was like, I haven't seen this guy. This guy's great. We're like, yeah, bro. He so is.
So this match is worth it. Two thumbs up from both of us on this one as well.
Yeah, this is good.
I also need to recommend the series of matches between Takeshita and Bandito for that Ring of Honor Championship. I think it was in 25. It might have been 24. Definitely check those out on, again, watchrh.com. I cannot recommend them enough. Bandito has been a workhorse. I'm glad that he is representing Ring of Honor so well. I'm not the biggest fan of world champions losing in non-title matches, but it was to Swerve Strickland, who calls himself the most dangerous wrestler in AEW. And I'm not willing to say no because I'd be afraid he'd prove me wrong.
Yeah, I don't know that Bandito really lost anything by losing to Swerve.
No.
I didn't feel like that. He put on it was obviously an excellent match, 2 thumbs up from, I think everybody gave it 2 thumbs up. And so his skill set is amazing, but you can it's believable for a story standpoint that Swerve would have tried maybe just the tiniest bit harder because he doesn't have a belt. And that's a little bit of the emotional, like, not that Bandito he got the belt, but Swerve doesn't have a belt right now. And he's probably feeling like, things are kind of empty. And so he's maybe just a tick more motivated than Bandito to go after it, which works for the story.
Absolutely does. You put on here 2 thumbs up, ridiculous. How are they that good? So good. I was asking, quote, how are they doing this?
That was a direct quote from Doc Deb. How are they this good? How are they this fast? They were the speed, the precision, the timing element of it was just so. Watch it. If you have never watched Bandito, this is a fantastic match. Ask Quentin. This is a fantastic match to watch.
Absolutely it is. Next, we've got our Fatal 4-Way for the AEW Women's World Championship. Very glad to see this match get highlighted. I know with Willow Nightingale getting hurt, they are making a plan for the TBS Championship, which looks like they're going to do the first ever AEW Survival of the Fittest Women's 6 women for the TBS Championship. I don't know if they're planning it for a Dynamite or if they're aiming to do that at the next pay-per-view, maybe Forbidden Door. I'm not sure, but I know that that was the announcement. So I think they're doing qualifying matches for that over the next few. So you've got the Owen Hart women's tournament going on as well as the TBS title tournament. So a lot of people give AEW grief for not having enough women's matches, and I partially agree, except that we have a great focus that they've been developing. Divine Dominion, they were on the card earlier in the night to see our that was in the buy-in with TJ returning, which earlier this week they won the first one to survive the 5 minutes and will get a championship match against Divine Dominion. But then to have a 6-women match for the TBS title coming in the future, when you see this 4-way, you understand. For me, AEW, we've had this discussion on here and personally, AEW does multi-person matches probably better than anybody else, particularly the multi-person, not just tag matches, because they do that well, but your triple threats, your fatal 4-ways, your survival of the fittest 6-ways, whatever those are.
When you have 3-on-3, when they're like almost like stable.
Those are your trios and tag matches. I'm specifically focused on
multiple individuals.
Yes.
Like when you have multiple. Yeah. I don't know how they got that good. I just assumed that maybe the Young Bucks and maybe some of Kenny Omega's experience to coach them. But when I look at any other multi-matches, TNA, WWE, whatever, and then I watch AEW, they just seem better. And I was like, is this my imagination? And Josh
Nope.
was like, no, I really do think they're better with how, I don't know, maybe they plan them better or their timing. I don't know.
I'm not sure. So the wrestlers in this match were Tekla, the current AEW Women's World
She
Champion,
nuts.
defending against Chris Statlander and
She also nuts.
Hikaru Shida and Jamie Hayter.
Almost nuts and almost nuts.
Well, so Statlander and Shida had been doing like this tag team thing, but very much the can they coexist thing. Clearly, they can't coexist. They fought in a street fight, the Dynamite after this because they were like finally fed up with it.
Yeah.
Jamie Hayter, I think, is finally in that women's title division to hopefully get another shot back after the injury she dealt with. In this one, Tekla retained.
She's crazy.
She looks great.
But she
in
looks
this.
great. But she's crazy.
She is. She's been a great representative, like a great hire. Leaving Stardom and coming here to AEW really has done wonders for her career. And I think it's working with the Sisters of Sin and the Triangle of Madness as they go by, which apparently there's a little bit of tension going on there where Sky Blue wants a shot at the championship, and I love that. That's good competition amongst stable members. But the storytelling with Shido continued. You also put in here that there were plenty of hard hits, good speed, one-on-one, and multiple wrestler combinations. And that was the thing that I noticed is AEW does a really good job of when they go down to the one-on-one, the other two are out of the ring for a good reason, as opposed to I got hurt, let's roll out of the ring and disappear. Usually something happened outside of the ring from somebody else, like I got slammed into the barricade or the steps, or I took a move on the concrete or something along those lines before it goes down to the one-on-one, and then eventually people get their way back in.
Yeah, no, I agree. And they give each combination of individuals time to shine. It makes sense, as you say, why the other ones aren't there. And then when they come back, they usually do some really fun, combinations or just like the mix-ups. And I feel almost like there's a Kenny Omega sense of humor with how sometimes they design it. But like these two are going to fight, but then this one gets in the middle and this one, and they mix up and it's I don't even know what to say. It's like the pieces keep shifting, like who actually is against who at this point. And I like that. Maybe not everyone likes that confusion. I think it's great because it makes me start to wonder, well, wait, I thought they were, he missed. Oh, well, now I just hit his best friend. Well, dadgummit. Okay. That fast shifting of who's on who, I don't know. I think that they do it really well. So
I completely agree. Our next match. Unlike the last few years of Anarchy in the Arena, we return to Stadium Stampede. Why? Because this is Louis Armstrong Stadium, you silly people.
This was ridiculous. I don't have another word for it.
The team of Chris Jericho, the Hurt Syndicate, and the Elite, represented by Jack Perry, the Young Bucks, and Kenny Omega. So that was 7 people.
Yeah, it was
because
7 at that,
MVP, Shelton Benjamin, and Bobby Lashley were involved. So 7 people.
7, yeah.
Take on the demand of Ricochet and the Gates of Agony, and Mark Davis, Andrade, and the Dogs of Clark Connors and David Finlay.
7 on 7.
And stuff hit the fan. And
Literally.
that is not how the Dapper Yapper would say it.
Nope.
I put a 2 thumbs up. I gave an additional half a thumb because when Jericho's team won, the way he celebrated the win was he pulled a Sabu and jumped through a table that had nobody on it. That was worth another thumbs up, a half a thumbs up. I actually am going to do something I'd never do, so far at least. I'm going to make that a full thumbs up because technically speaking, I learned something after the fact. The only thing that was pre-taped, and if you watch this thing, you would suspect there was a lot of pre-tape. No. The entrances were the only thing pre-taped, the video packages beforehand. Everything you see on there, including when Jack Perry almost runs over Mark Davis with a car or with a bus, was done live in the arena.
Oh my!
Or sorry, stadium.
Well, stadium, right? Because there would have had to, somewhere in that stadium. Holy.
They set it all up. They had all of the camera crews where they needed to be and were moving around, and all the planned spots, which I understand. It's still real to me. Well, that's about as real as it gets, folks. There were 14 guys running around, doing things.
Crazy human beings running around, and and the wild part is there were some in the ring that were doing stuff. So you could actually sort of watch kind of this match. And then all the rest of them just scattered to literally Lord knows where and are like fighting amongst themselves just in the back. And then they come out and then there's more fighting and then more disappear. And you're just like, dear Lord, what am I even watching at this point? It was just sheer chaos.
Yeah, somebody used a tennis ball launcher at one point.
Yes. There was the tennis ball launcher. There were the moves onto the tennis balls because after all, we're in a tennis stadium. There was so much. I mean, I literally at one point I'm just giggling, like, what am I even watching? This is so ridiculous.
Yeah.
You just felt like they were just throwing. I said it felt like they were sitting around after they maybe had an adult beverage or two, throwing around ideas of what they can do in this match. How crazy and stupid and silly can we get? And they just started doing it. But it was goofy wrestling for life.
Goofy wrestling for life. Thank you, Simon Miller.
And honoring Sabu at the end was really beautiful. Was Chris Jericho. So I thought that was very classy of him.
I'm telling you what, the Ricochet and the Demand pairing with the Gates of Agony has been wonderful. Ricochet as a heel, absolutely fantastic. Chris Jericho coming back and immediately getting into kind of this mid-card program with Ricochet has elevated both of them. Now, if you haven't seen this, look this up. He's in a feud with Tommaso Ciampa, and Ciampa has come up with 1,004 reasons to make the ode back to Chris Jericho's 1,004 holds as the 1,004 reasons why he doesn't like Chris Jericho. And the first one is because Fozzy sucks. And it was one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life. Please check that out. You will enjoy that. Tommaso Ciampa as a bad guy, I'm all for.
Oh, I love
He had
Ciampa.
nothing to do with this match, but I just had to point that out because out of this,
That's great.
that was the next feud.
Great,
And
because now we have another list. It only is Ciampa's list of
That's great.
1,004 reasons. That's great. I love Ciampa in every form, whether he's a heel, whether he's a face. I don't care. I've loved watching Ciampa. I didn't even watch that much NXT. Legit, I wasn't an NXT gal, but Ciampa, I would be interested. Like, hey, he's in a match. I'm like, I would be willing to watch that. And I think AEW. I think he's great for AEW. You know, sometimes you have people come to a organization, you're like, I don't know if this is going to fit. I was like, I think Ciampa's going to have a ball here, and I think everyone is going to have a blast. And guess what? I was right.
You were right.
Tekla is also another one that I was like, she makes sense for hard hitting, nuts, but not like Firefly Funhouse nuts, but like just nuts. So I think she's been great for AEW as well.
let's see. I think that, she put complete mayhem, ridiculous, and insane. And honoring Sabu at the end was classy.
Yes. See, there you go. So it was. But did I give it 2 thumbs?
You did 2.5.
I gave it a half.
Yeah.
Yep, I gave the half.
Yep.
The orange half.
It earned the half for the classy move at the end. Yeah. I'm saying that I'm not going to change because we've already done our average and got our final thumbs up here, but I absolutely have it like a hidden asterisk additional half thumb for finding out the production stuff was all done live. I am mind blown knowing like what we're doing here to just podcast in our living room.
Yeah. To have all those cameras and all those setups ready to go and all those locations.
It's crazy.
It's crazy. I will say, if you're looking for a classic, solid wrestling match, this is not it. Don't watch this if that's what you're looking for. If you are just looking for where's the popcorn and I just want to giggle myself silly at what they're pulling off, this is perfect.
Absolutely.
Just watch that. So to give you an idea, depending on the kind of wrestling fan you are, that gives you an idea of what you're getting into.
So, with that said, we reach our main event where the defending AEW World Heavyweight Champion of Darby Allin takes on Maxwell Jacob Friedman in a champion versus hair match. And I've seen hair versus hair matches. I think I've even seen the champion versus hair thing, but what I was not expecting, and I think a lot of people were not expecting, was how much buzz this actually would generate for this show at the possibility of MJF losing his hair.
You didn't realize that man's hair was that valuable on social media. Maybe he knew. He probably knows because he's better than me and he knows it.
Right.
But I don't think I realized how much value his hair has.
It apparently drew, like they saw some influx of 1,000 or so tickets, maybe 2,000 to the event after that was announced. And
okay, that's so hilarious to me.
In standard AEW World Championship fashion, it was not a no disqualification match, but it still ended up all over the place.
I mean, it has MJF in it, so almost by definition, don't misunderstand, he can fight clean, but it's MJF,
Yeah.
so.
But here's the interesting thing about that.
Right.
He didn't cheat.
Correct.
He never even brought out the diamond ring.
Which is wild. I was guessing that he would bring out the diamond ring.
What ended up costing Darby was the story they spent the entire month telling, which was Darby ran until his wheels fell off. He defended the title at every single show that they had between his win until Double or Nothing. And as a result, Max took advantage. I said, Darby Allin's an established star now, but MJF is world champion once again. Darby jumped off the scaffolding. Yes, the scaffolding that represented this stage. He jumped off of it, threw a table onto Max, and hit his head on the way down. Now, this is the bleeding I was telling you about earlier.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if he bladed or if he actually hurt himself, but it was definitely bleeding.
Yeah.
And Max did take advantage of it to get the win. And he won by the side headlock takeover, which is just, anyone who thinks AEW doesn't tell stories, that was a long-term story. That was one of my favorite long-term stories that they'd done, because that's how Darby got the win after the 5 coffin drops on Max. He beat him with it too. So those two are going to meet again down the road.
Yes,
Darby.
they will.
Darby. I love, like, I have met Darby now. I don't have any real
not
friendship.
met Darby, but I've met MJF.
Right. I have no friendship whatsoever with this guy, but I'm proud to see what he has become. He is the standard bearer for AEW, and will continue working towards not only himself being a star, but working with the future stars of AEW, because when this match was over with, Kevin Knight came out to make the rescue as Max was standing over him and kind of embarrassing Darby after they put him on the gurney. And as the gurney was wheeling out and Kevin was giving Max the what for, he jumped off the top rope and hit Darby Allin with a perfect alien frog splash, or whatever he calls that thing. So perfect, a matter of fact, that the stretcher didn't fall over. Like, he hit it, landed on his feet, stretcher was still up, so he just shoved the stretcher over.
I mean, I think I would have left it there to be like, ta-da! Like, that's how perfect the landing was. When is it ever that perfect? Usually you knock something off, all sorts of goofy.
Right.
But
So the Wednesday before,
Yeah.
Kevin told Darby, don't let the jet down. He let the jet down, so the jet attacked him. And then the Wednesday after, his tag partner, Mike Bailey, was like, what are you doing? And did he attack Mike Bailey? He was basically like, I'm out for myself. I want to work towards the world championship. He's the TNT champion now. I want to go towards the world championship, and I got to get rid of the loose, whatever, the dead weight. Darby, obviously I can't trust him, and now I got to get rid of you. Like, Kevin Knight as a heel is going to be super interesting to me.
It seemed a little flippy-dippy-doo-dah. Little too, maybe a little like, I don't know. It's a little like, I don't know. I'm fine. I'm not fine. And you're like, what happened? I guess I didn't really get what, he wants the championship. Get that. Okay, cool. Why do you have to be an A-hat to do that? You can go after that. You can be a good guy and go after the championship. Lots of people do. So I guess that's the part that I feel like wrestling.
Yeah, story is not your thing anyways.
No, it's really not.
It's not. So thus, I gave 2 thumbs up to the main event because I thought they told an excellent story, and it was a very good in-ring and a little bit of outer-ring story, like, product. It was a great match. Max is so good. And the last thing I put on here is I'm excited for Wembley now more than ever, because even if they tease us with the possibility of, like, Kenny Omega versus Max at Redemption, the possibility, and if they work towards Will winning the Owen, there's the chance that Will could face either Max or Kenny. Like, because that's what everybody's talking about right now. Are we going to see Max or Kenny? I got to ask you. First off, you gave 2 thumbs up to the match as well, right?
I did.
Why was that?
Well, some of the reasons that I've already gave. I mean, it was a good wrestling match. It didn't have a lot of, they didn't have a lot of shenanigans, and I actually was coming in expecting shenanigans because it's MJF. So I'm like, all right, he's gonna do something. He's gonna knock the ref out cold. He's gonna use the diamond ring. He's gonna pull the turnbuckle pads off of it. He's gonna get his best friend's third cousin twice removed to throw a camera at him. I don't know. Like, I was just expecting dumb crap, but it wasn't. It was actually I'm trying to think if there's any real shenanigans. Not really. Darby was nuts, but Darby's always nuts. So Darby jumping off of things that are way too high. I mean, that's his shtick. Yes. He climbed a mountain that was way too high. I mean, that's what he does. I'm waiting for him to go into space because that's even way higher still. You better not jump out of space, although I could believe he could figure out how to skydive from the highest level humanly possible. He would be the one who would figure out how to do it. Don't listen to me, Darby. Don't do that. Anyway, yeah, it did tell a good story of Darby's exhaustion, that Darby did hit a wall, which is interesting because most of the time, I don't know if they've ever really done that, where they would show the reality of if someone is defending day in and day out, no break, your body is going to have wear and tear. Your body is going to give out. You are not Kal-El of Krypton. It's going to eventually say no more. And they actually went down that line. And I don't recall seeing that in a story. So that actually got my interest as a doctor. I'm like, that's correct. Like, you look at all of these huge athletes, they don't compete every single week, week after week. They have a season where they compete hard, and then they have an off season where they're resting, recuperating, focusing. That's most sports. Wrestling does not follow that code, as we've been told many times. It's week in, week out. Well, the problem is when you do that, this will be your consequence. And Darby took the consequence. The wheels fell off.
Yep.
So is that going to change how he's going to be next time? Maybe, maybe not. Do we bring Sting in for a monologue like, hey, dude, I survived this long because I actually knew when to take a rest. Maybe you need a little coaching in that department, my friend. Like, I don't know. There's some room to play with that story of Darby development, which is cool. And then MJF having the title again. MJF is everyone loves to hate MJF. I mean, that's it, right? I know everyone's like the best heel in the business, dude. I never saw Ric Flair, but to me, MJF. I mean, of anybody who I feel like should have the Star of David scepter passed to him, because yes, it would do.
He calls himself Big Hebrew, so
right. From Ric Flair to be the best heel in the business, he's not the dirtiest player in the game. But if anyone would have that modern version of it, I think it's him.
Yeah.
Because even looking at WWE's heel personas, and then MJF has just got the cleverness, the sharpness, the figuring out where to go for it. He's a great wrestler, but the combination of the package of the wrestler and the story, he's great on the mic. He holds people's attention. He has this, you want to watch to see what on earth is he going to do now? What is he going to say now? Yeah, he's got all of that. So he's just fun to watch. And honestly, he doesn't need to be a jerk. He can wrestle. You don't have to cheat. He knows how to wrestle. So, and he wrestled. So that's me going on because I love this match. This was great. I was barely awake, and I was like, I can't fall asleep. This is still too good. I'm almost there because I'd been tired. It was a long day.
Yeah. With that, another 2 thumbs up for both of us. So when all things were said and done, we kind of average out the thumbs, and it's about a 3.5 thumb match. And you know what?
3.5 out of 4 thumbs.
3.5 out of 4 thumbs pay-per-view. Absolutely. Because we got a lot of really good ones. And look, people use stars, people had 10s, people use ups and downs. We're using thumbs. And it's
because you have to. So let's use them.
So now we got 3.5.
No, we have, sorry.
So,
are you doing the half?
I did the half, yeah.
You did the half. Okay, so there you go.
So I am going to leave you with one more question before I give you a 3 count, because I did come up with a 3 count.
Okay.
With that said, especially it is just double or nothing. We still got 2 more pay-per-views. Anything could happen. We still have the rest of the Owen to go.
Boy.
But who do you think we see in the main event at All In? I currently think it's Will Ospreay and MJF.
Will Ospreay, yes, because it makes sense for so many reasons, and they've got him starting him on the trajectory. I wasn't sure how they're going to do it when he was like in the basement. I'm like, guys, you gotta get him going again. And now, okay, now here's the rise.
I think it's going to be Max and Will, because Max has proven that he's a draw, and if there's anybody in the company that we will all love watching lose, it will be Max, and especially to Will at Wembley.
Yes, because that's assuming that Max holds it for that long, which assuming he doesn't lose it to anybody. But what I think would be a wild twist, although I don't know how we would get there, would be Will versus Mox.
That's
Because
interesting.
he's training with the Death Riders. I can turn you into an assassin, is what John Moxley said. So do you then have the match between them of is Will good enough with what he's learned from the Death Riders and what Will was already? Is he actually a good enough assassin to take out the head of the group that trained him?
You see, now that you say that, that makes me think Will wins the Owen at Forbidden Door and faces Mox at Redemption.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
And
then-
then it's redemption.
Yes.
Right? I mean, I'm sorry.
Ooh.
I don't book this
interest,
stuff.
Interest.
But that would be, to me, that would be fascinating.
So, this is episode 45, and you should have checked out episode 44, which was us talking about botches and outbreaks live from PopCon with our friend Brian Daniels.
So, sorry, the doctor is
Sorry,
like,
not outbreaks, breakouts. It's funnier that I said that, but it's botches and breakouts.
I'm like, what disease is outbreaking?
No,
That sounds like a
it
terrible
was botches
plan.
and breakouts. You weren't there. Botches and breakouts.
Okay.
First off, I agree with Cody Rhodes. There is no such thing as a botch when it comes to wrestling itself. Mistakes happen. It is live athletic performance going on weekly. Those are not what we're talking about. We're using the term botch as a storyline that did not go as people hoped it would.
Okay.
Versus a
Copy that.
breakout, which was, I'm not sure where this is going, and that went a lot better than we thought.
So, Danhausen.
Danhausen is absolutely
Breakout.
a WWE breakout 100% versus John Cena's heel turn, definitely a botch.
And that was definitely a botch,
Lots of
'cause-
us went on that rant.
Yes.
So,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, but there were no outbreaks. No outbreaks occurred. in
please,
this.
I'm not being sensitive. Please no. All right. So for our 3 counts, for those of you out there, we have 3 little tidbits that have come up with. Usually one or all of us, somebody comes up with one. I've come up with this time. After every time we say one, we count our way up to 3, just like any good pinfall. So for our 3 count. Why, Kevin, why? One. Don't mess with Beth Copeland. 2. And MJF is better than Dr. Deb, and he knows it, but Josh disagrees. 3.
3. Although I was better than him one time, and
One
I
time.
know it.
That's right.
I know. There was one time, and I know it, but that's okay.
Again, thank you for joining us here on The Stable. Make sure you check out AEW Double or Nothing 2026, and we will, as our buddy Don says, check you later. Bye.
Bye.
Deuces.
Bonus.